Coretta Scott King was born on the 27th of April, 1927, in Marion, Alabama, United States of America. Her father was a police officer, while her mother was a singer and songwriter. Although she didn't succeed greatly in the music scene, her singing talent was exceptional and thrilling. Shortly after Coretta was born, her father resigned from being a police officer, claiming that he didn't want any danger to take him away from his precious daughter. Growing up, Coretta was a tomboy. She was often caught climbing trees and wrestling with boys. This bothered her parents greatly, and they did all they could to change her boy-like habits. Interestingly, when Coretta became a teenager, she was more ladylike. After completing her secondary education, she won a scholarship to study at the New Zealand Conservatory of Music in Boston. At the time, she had fallen deeply in love with music and was bent on becoming a prominent singer. But when Coretta arrived in Boston for her music studies, she met an eccentric man who would change the course of her life forever. She made an acquaintance with Martin Luther King Jr., a man who strongly believed in peace, unity, and diplomacy. After a few years of being friends with him, she fell in love, and then the loving couple went into holy matrimony. Now married to Martin Luther King Jr., Coretta abandoned her ambition for music and joined her husband in civil rights movement and peaceful fight for equal rights amongst all American citizens. Being an activist and a part of the civil rights movement with her husband wasn't as easy as she had thought it would be. Her life and that of her husband were in danger, as plans were made to put an end to Martin Luther King's participation in the movements. When Coretta's husband was eventually arrested, she feared that he might never make it out alive. But fortunately, Martin Luther King Jr. was later released, and the fight for freedom continued. Coretta and her husband were able to influence millions of Americans through their massive campaigns, publicities, and public speeches. But when it eventually seemed like they had reached the brink of victory, a tragic incident happened and almost ruined the hopes of everyone in the civil rights movement. Coretta's husband, Martin Luther King Jr., was assassinated. After his death, it seemed like the light had been put out. However, Coretta wasn't ready to give up that easily. Even after the demise of her husband, she kept the civil rights movement alive and functional. She kept her husband's legacy alive until her death in the year 2006. Her funeral was a public event attended by more than 10,000 people. In life, when our lives aren't going the way we plan, we can still change the situation and make it all better. There are things we can change and turn around for good. Provided you believe in yourself, you can make change happen. George Bernard Shaw said, "Progress is impossible without change." There is possibly no way your life can experience progress without undergoing changes. For anything to grow, it will certainly see change. If you want to progress in life, you must be willing to make some changes in your life. You must be deliberate about making your life better. Zig Ziglar said, "Until you change your thinking, you will always recycle your experiences." The bad experience you face in life can be changed the moment you change the way you think about certain things. Always remember your mindset is very powerful. You can make positive actions when you have a positive mindset. You can cause a change to happen in your life by simply changing the way you think. George Bernard Shaw said, "Those who cannot change their minds cannot change anything." Being able to change your mind will enable you to change nearly anything. When your life is not experiencing any growth, you can cause growth to happen by first conceiving it in your mind. If Coretta King could make significant changes through her lifetime, you too can.